Buddy, and welcome to the Jimmy Palumbo Show. That's right. Show number 126. Getting involved here from the Omni in Atlanta. I'm coming to you from downtown Mawa in the pretty decent dining room studios of Jimmy Palumbo. Of course, behind the glass down in Matawan, New Jersey, from Chop Sports Media Studios, capital of the world, from Matawan, your friend and mine, Dave Sturcio. Dave, how we doing?
Oh, we're doing good, Jimmy. It's a Tuesday. It's a Jimmy Palumbo episode day. These are the days I look forward to the most, to be honest with you. If we're being completely honest. I wake up in the morning, brush my teeth, and say, it's a good day. A good day here.
You have to do the Jimmy Palumbo Show. Absolutely right. Getting involved here.
That's right.
Of course, I did not put. Hang on one second.
As he goes. Goodbye, Jimmy.
I suddenly became my grandfather in 5 seconds. I usually
share the show out real quick, just so you don't think I'm like not paying attention.
All right, here we go. Oh, how's that? That's a little better for me. Now I can look at it. I'm looking at you a little bit. All right, well, listen. This is show number 126 here at Shea. And I have a guy, of course, as my fans know, what I do is I have a stack of shitty baseball cards that have been on my count.
Has it been the same stack the whole time?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's about, I would say it's about this thick, so I'll run out of them eventually.
Right.
I have another stack somewhere that's just the bad players. But this is this guy I didn't know much about, and you'll know him maybe better than I do, but maybe not. It's maybe a little bit before your time, but I don't know why this guy I don't know why he lasted in the league this long. This is when he's like, first of all, again, it's one of those modern cards. So I think it's like from 2019. And then I look at it, it's actually from 1992. Ladies and gentlemen, New York Met, Dave Magadan.
Oh, I know
with
Dave
the
Magadan.
Glossy. Okay, now Dave Magadan, I knew nothing about. I remember the name.
Little glossy here. Oh, must be a new card.
Look at that. I think it's
a little shimmer here.
Yeah, and it's 30 years old.
That's good. Kept it in good shape.
I've done Lee May on this show, so why not do Dave Magadan?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Let me see if you can guess. How many years do you think Dave Magadan played?
14.
Ah, good answer. You suck. 16 years in the league.
All right.
He played with the Mets, the Marlins, Seattle, back to the Marlins, Houston, the Cubs, Oakland, and the Padres. Lifetime batting average 288. I didn't realize he was that good a hitter. Only 42 home runs. So another guy.
Christ.
42 home runs. So instead of making 30 million, he'll only be making 12 million. He had 1,200 hits in 16 years. That's not right. He played third, first base, and pinch hitter. With the 90 Mets, he batted 328. He had no power at all. Problem is he played third and first, and Howard Johnson and Keith Hernandez were on the Mets back then. So he had nowhere to go.
Even back then? What year was that with the Mets?
He was there from, I don't even know. He retired.
I wonder if
No, I don't know what year he started. Usually I know that, but I don't know.
No, but I'm saying, what year did he play with the Mets?
He played with the Mets. No, let me see. I have it right here.
Don't worry about it. I thought for sure you had it on deck.
No, now we had.
Or it's on the back of his baseball card. No,
the baseball cards though, they don't always.
all the important stats. Don't worry about it.
I will find this out for you. Yes, he started out in 1986 and he played till 2001. Played with the Mets from 86 to 92.
So he's got himself a World Series. Unless he came in the following year.
He came in, he played in September, and 8 years later, they gave him a wedding ring, a World Series ring. This guy, first of all, he bounced around the league, no power. In the articles I read about him, it always seemed to say, and he was granted the starting job in the blank season, and then all of a sudden it's like, by the end of the season, he was no longer the starting. Like so this guy batted 288, and every time they gave him the job, he either must have been a horrific fielder, had to be that, right? Because when you bat 288 in the major leagues, you play. But you play first base, if you can't catch throws or ground balls are getting through, you got to go.
And he's in the NL, so there's no DH at that time.
No DH, right. So he's Lou Pinella's cousin, which that made me laugh.
Fun fact.
Okay. But here's the best thing. At Alabama one year, he batted 525. Talk about Johnny Trino-esque.
Put him in your spokes, said Sam Grasso.
Yeah, Sam Grasso kicking in on our chat. Whenever we mention someone else's name, that means they're on our chat board. I realize I listened to last week's episode, and you and I.
People don't know what the hell they're talking about.
I know. So it sounded like shit on the audio podcast, but Sam Grasso, one of my 8 fans that tunes in, is mocking, saying he was definitely a spokes guy. But you know what? He rarely struck out, Maggot. He only had 546 Ks, which is like a half a season for Stanton or Judge. And 5,000 at bats, he only struck out 546 times. So he did not strike out that much. Here's another crazy. This is why what I'm about to tell you is the reason why I do this opening bit, which goes on way too long because I'm entertaining myself. This is the self-gratification part of the show. Okay. He was the last batter that Nolan Ryan ever faced. Nolan Ryan blew out his elbow on a pitch, and they came up to him out, and Nolan
that's
Ryan
relevant. That's pretty cool.
That's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah.
So anybody driving on the road now is like, if you're on Jeopardy in like the $6,000 thing, and they say who was the last batter Nolan Ryan ever faced, it's Dave Magadan.
You think Dave Magadan runs around saying like I ended Nolan Ryan's career?
Oh, for sure, I would. You imagine that was me
at all the barbecues. It's like, oh, you don't know me well.
If you were the batter, you'd be like, I hit a line shot off his elbow. So yes, that's the other thing. Then he became a batting coach. And here's another thing. He was a journeyman player, and then he became a journeyman coach. Like, he got fired every time until he got to the Red Sox, and the Red Sox batted like 580 all year for like 2 years, and then he got fired from there. And then he all over the place. Bottom line is journeyman, decent hitter, couldn't hold a job anywhere as a player, as a coach. That's what I got out of this. Your friend and mine, Dave Magadan. Now, who do you got? We're still in the shitty tight end category from the Cowboys.
I'm looking real quick just to see if he's actually still doing anything, Dave Magadan. I'm looking at his
he got fired in 2022. He's not on the 23.
Yeah, that's it. He's got nothing going on right now. That's so
I didn't check his Instagram or see. He's still alive, obviously.
Yes, he's 60 years old. So yeah. He's around there.
Right, well, listen.
Yeah, no, here's the last line of his Wikipedia. During the 2018 winter meetings in Las Vegas, Magadan was hired to be the hitting coach for the Rockies. October 13th, 2022, it was announced that Magadan would not return for the 2023 season. So sorry, shit luck there, Dave Magadan. You're out of there.
You know what? I'm going to try to get Dave Magadan on the show because
he'll do it.
He'll be able to talk. He'll be able to talk about every team in the league because he played or coached on them.
Yeah, I made a stop in Pittsburgh in 1996.
It's unbelievable. It's like me talking about diners. I mean, the Galaxy, the Rio down there, the Westfield diner. Unbelievable. Yet he batted 288. Like, again, he'd be leading
Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer right now. Anyway, your friend of mine, Mr. Dave Magadan. Now, what shitty tight end do you have?
The shitty tight end journey continues.
Wait, hang on. Let me just preface. I do the baseball card thing, and Dave knows I can't stand the Cowboys. Dave loves the Cowboys, but in my whole life, there's always, every time the Giants play the Cowboys, there's always a wide open tight end for like, I would say 80% of the games I've been to at Giant Stadium, 3rd and 8, a Cowboy tight end starting from 1977 is always wide open. Either Staubach hit him, Danny White, Aikman. It doesn't matter who, Dak Prescott. Doesn't matter who the quarterback. First down, Cowboy. And so I said to David, I made a joke a couple weeks ago that the Cowboys have never had a bad tight end, and Dave's like, "Oh, you're wrong." So I said, "Okay, for the next month, all I want to hear about is shitty tight ends." And we've had some good ones. Marcellus Bennett was last week.
Marcellus Bennett was last week. The week before that was David LaFleur. Tonight, I raise you one of the worst one-year tight ends of all time the Cowboys had in 2002. Now, remember, the Cowboys were very, very bad in 2001 through 3. I think they went 5-11 3 years in a row. That was Dave Campo. Chan Gailey was the coach.
The quarterback that's after Aikman or Aikman's last
right
year?
After Aikman's. So in between Aikman and Romo, there's like a lot. You want to talk about a podcast?
You know what? That's going to be our next segment. Done. That'll be our next segment.
Oh, okay. I'm all over that.
So who is this tight end guy?
This tight end, your friend and mine, 6'4", 241-pound monster, played all 16 games for Dallas. Don't get it twisted. Like, he played all. He's very durable. He was only targeted 30 times, and he caught 23 balls. He had 1 touchdown. Mr. Tony McGee, who played his entire career with the Cincinnati Bengals and latched on with the Cowboys. And 2002, Dave, who's a junior in high school at the time, when we signed Tony McGee, I said, Super Bowl. Tony McGee is going to add that threat for Clint Stoner to throw him a touchdown pass. Oh yeah, Tony McGee.
Tony McGee. How he played what, like 5 or 6 years in the league or longer?
No, he actually played 10 years in the league.
He was, by the time he got to the Cowboys, he was shot.
He was done. Yeah. And like I said, I believe in 2003, he played for the Toronto Argonauts. I don't know.
If you're a tight end and you only get targeted, if you play all 16 games, only get targeted 30 times, you suck.
It's terrible. Yeah, forget him.
I mean, think about all the like those 3rd down and 20s, and you just get 8
which
yards
is a big,
back.
which is a big, it's a big stat nowadays is targets. You know what I mean? Like that's a big thing. Everybody's worried about how many times they're targeted. If Tony McGee was out there right now, they'd be like, "Well, is he on the field? Is he actually on the field, or is he sitting on the sideline?"
You start hearing things like a clubhouse guy, coachable, durable,
great attitude. Hustles, finishes every play. You know,
he started his career running a 4.8, and by the time he got to the Cowboys, he was running a 5.6 or 6.4. All right, so Tony McGee and Dave Magadan, the Jimmy Palumbo show,
episode.
As we kill 11 minutes talking about 2 shitty players that no one gives a fuck about. But that's why I do the show for that reason. We're enjoying it. You know what? I think next week I'm not even going to do this live. Me and you are just going to talk on the screen.
That's fine.
Which brings us to Patreon. Now, I made a big jump at 35. With my boy Johnny Kelly signing on, and we are, of course, still stuck at 35. So it's the one-hit wonder last week coming on strong. Listen, there's nothing you can do. I just refuse. I refuse to believe that nobody, maybe wants a Mark
$3.
a Mark, someone wants to be 36. A Mark Haynes on the Giants cornerback. Someone just drove off the road. Steve Balboni at 36. David, of course, there's David Cohn.
Cohn, right.
How about this? A lot of listeners that remember Johnny Mize, who played in the 50s. He was a famous player. Johnny Mize, Hal Lanier, shitty. My brother just drove off the road.
Actually,
my brother and Neil Magenheim from Colonia, New Jersey, just drove off the road if they're listening.
Caprio comes in. Mike Caprio's coming in the chat with a dynamite drop in. He says today's show is about hats not to wear. So my cowboy hat and your fedora.
I love listen, I think I'm going to be wearing different now that I figured out this little AirPod thing. I will be in different hats. I was getting tired of the baseball hat thing. Of course, I knew the Yankee hat. I was glad you didn't wear the Yankee hat.
No, I'm done with the Yankee hat. I throw it in the back.
Bad fans. We're all bad fans. But a shout out to my boy Shecky. Lawler over there, big. He actually texted me like 8 times during the week, busting my chops about some of the Dodger things I said last week about Don Sutton and how he was better than that. But we argued back and forth, and I still think Don Sutton's the most overrated player ever. But and a big shout out to, of course, Janine Jay Bird over at Absolute, Tyson Hogan getting involved in all. My brother Frankie, of course, who got involved in some Indiegogo stuff. We'll get to that later on.
Oh, nice.
And also Pat Volkemer, I got to give a shout out because I was able to see him this weekend. We'll get to more about Pat Volkemer this weekend, which of course brings us to here comes the segue.
Segue day here at Shay.
The one and only sponsor. I get in front of the camera. I'm so talented at my producing skills. Absolute Eyewear getting involved. 42 Main Street, Woodbridge, New Jersey. 732-326.
Eyes.
Oh, that was good. Even with a little breathy eyes there.
Yeah, you like that? A little extendo.
732-326-3937. Craig and Janine Michaud over there at Absolute Eyewear down by the train station. They are opticians. They got everything there. Full prescription eyewear, everything you want. They got this. We got a discount. If you mention JP Show, what do you got to mention? I don't even know. Just tell them you know me. You want to just say JP Show and you get your glasses.
What do I got to mention? I don't even know.
What do you got to know? They're open 5 days a week. They're closed Wednesdays and Sundays. $100 off a complete pair here at Shea if you mention this wonderful podcast. Now, of course, they have Ray-Ban Coach Ralph Lauren, Dave Sturchio's Jimmy Choo, Silhouette, Michael Kors, Vogue, Maui Jim. Of course, we got to give a shout out to the Maui people. With the fires out there. So
crazy.
I just realized I just read Maui. That sounds shitty. I'm not being no disrespect to the awful tragedy out there. Hope those guys are doing all right. Costa Del Mar, Charles Oakley for kids, And Charles Oakley brings his kids in there.
For adults, too. Charles Oakley for adults.
I got yelled at that for that.
I actually, I got to give a shout out to Johnny. And she, we were talking last week on this show about practice. And we had mentioned what the greatest line in beer league was, but we couldn't mention it. But she sure as hell mentioned it. She sent me a text right after she listened, and I was like, all right, she gets it.
Yeah, she gets it. Some people get that, and
ready?
Here we go. There we go. And Dave Sturcho drinking the gallon judge. That is the most obnoxious. Who told you to buy a gallon thing of Poland Springs water? And like think about the amount of spit that goes back in that bottle. It's gross.
If you gave me a bottle of water, just a singular bottle of Poland Spring, it's gone in 2 sips, so it's a waste for me. So I'm just like, I know, but I'm saving the goddamn environment here. Okay, like this is what I'm
environment.
Doing. Yeah, I'm not only using one piece of plastic.
Okay, you should weigh like 140 pounds then, all this water you're drinking. It's almost like you had 8 cheeseburger and a gallon of water.
I like my pizza. There's nothing I can do about that. What do you want me to do?
All right, so Absolute Eyewear, God bless. We love them. Which brings us to Jimmy Palumbo's career. I shot a film this weekend. First of all, I'm looking at some of the chat room here. We got Dying Breed Garage. I believe that's Will Pena.
Yes, sir.
And of course, Sam Grasso just continues. He had a big week last week, Sam, on the chat boards while we do the show. And so far this week, he looks like a young Tony McGee.
A young Tony McGee was actually good. He looks like a Cowboys Tony McGee right now.
We shot this movie. It was called Hotel 112. And it's based on the address of a street in Long Island. And the father, who I'm playing that role, there were so many kids coming in and out of the house. He just called it, what is this, Hotel 112. So it was directed by Nicole Gomez Fisher. It's about her father-in-law and their whole family and how they were just loud Italians yelling and screaming at each other. The cast was Nick Cirillo, who got me involved because I did Fresh Kills with him. The absolutely stunning Andrea Longo. Look her up, fans. She's just gorgeous. Deep Speed. I was like, this girl, she was young and too fast. My free safety was not good enough if she ran in, fake short, go long.
You said Andrea Longo?
Yeah. Deep Speed. And she was actually sweet as hell.
I wrote Deep Speed in it too.
It's
funny. Deep Speed. There's an Andrea Longo track star. So that makes sense.
I don't know if this girl was a track star. All I know is if I was lined up as a cornerback in a game, I would be taking that 8-step back.
Wait, Londo or Longo?
Longo, Longo.
Oh, that was Londo.
But she was and she was sweet. She was cool as hell. And she's engaged and all that stuff. So I'm not being a creep. And also Lydia Violet, who had the hardest role. She played my wife in the pilot thing. She had like the most tough lines. I thought she had a lot of. She did the heavy lifting here, Che. There's my boy Matt Montemaro. He played a jerk off guy in it, which was great. Then there was a girl named Julia Murney, a doll, sweetheart. And while bullshitting with her, she turns out she was on Wicked on Broadway. She played the Wicked Witch on Wicked. She was like the 3rd or 4th one after the first couple. And she was telling me all backstory she did on the tour, stuff that happened on stage, backstage, because that's like the iconic role of the newer generation. I mean, that 100 years from now, Wicked will be on Broadway. I'm convinced of that. And she couldn't have been cooler. I was like, holy shit, you were the Wicked Witch? That's nuts. Then you got John Backstrom, who played Eddie the cop, who actually arrests me in the show. I get arrested in the show. And of course, Nicole Gomez Fisher couldn't have been sweeter. She was a director, and her husband Joe was there. And also talk about Deep Speed. First of all, the guys were as good looking as the girls. Like there was like everybody. I immediately grabbed the clipboard, turned the hat backwards. It was like, I'm just gonna stand near the coach and I'll work with the kids. I'm gonna work with the kids. I was like totally accessing my inner Don Zimmer at one point. I was like,
anybody throw you down?
What is this fat bastard doing on the show? But I had some funny lines. There was a girl named Alexandra Tabano. She's another one. If her and Andrea Longo are lined up at wide receiver, your free safety is screwed because if one goes short, one goes long, forget about it. They both had deep speed. But here's you learn about, it was all about their family, the script. And they're just like very loud, cursing at each other, but they loved each other. So like, F this, F that, shut, but meanwhile, like, what are we eating? Like it was really fun to do.
So every Italian family ever.
Yeah, it was great, but it was loud, classic Long Island and this old Cape Cod, which the mother, Rudy, died. My character passed away, sadly. But the mother's still alive. And I was talking to her. She goes, you don't look anything like my Rudy. I'm like, I'm not Rudy, But she was filling me in on some stuff, how he was and how much everybody loved him and a ball breaker he was. And then the son starts talking to me, the director's husband. And he's like, yeah, this is great. I just want to make sure my wife gets to pursue her dream because my dad couldn't. I was like, what do you mean? What'd your dad do? And when you get hit with something, you're like, what? This is like, you got to be, it's not as good as Dave Magadan being Nolan Ryan's last at bat, but it's up there. He was the original drummer of the Four Seasons.
I like that.
The whole Jersey Boy thing,
wow.
The first like 20 minutes of the Jersey Boys, like he was the guy that were playing clubs, but he got married and started having kids, and he couldn't do he had to he was like, what are we doing? Keep up with
the road anymore.
But he ended up being very friendly with the band. So I thought, oh, what a sob story. Guy comes in, he played the drums with him for like 3 weeks when they were called like the Four Midmen or something, like one of those band names. Turns out, though, he's like, no. And they used to play like the Garden and the Coliseum here in Long Island. They used to call him out from the audience. He'd go up and play 4 songs. I'm like, he really was part of the band.
Wow.
Which I thought was really, really cool. I got a kick out of that. It was also great because I got out. The hotel was right on top of the Nassau Coliseum. I got to see that. Man, that's a beautiful looking stadium. Again, whoever, like the guy who designed Giant Stadium, if he gets a traffic ticket, if I was the judge, I'd be like, okay, here's what you have to do. You have to hang out and stare at the Nassau Coliseum for 2 days. That's your crime. And if the guy who designed Giant Stadium really did something bad, like attempted murder, okay, you have to go to where the Cowboys play, and you have to stare and look at that building for 2 years straight.
Jerry's World is beautiful.
It's beautiful, right? And the Giant Stadium looks like a big air conditioner. Nassau Coliseum looks really cool. But so that was fun. But I also got to hang out with my cousin Anthony there in Plainview. It just so happens they were around. I was 5 minutes away. I drove over. We had a little meal in the backyard. I had some wine. And his daughter, Samantha, had a beautiful baby, Christopher, only 6 weeks old. Next thing you know, I'm holding babies, patting them on the butt. The baby's spitting up all over me. I didn't care. I missed those days with my daughter, Natalie. It was really nice because, when you see your cousins at the family events, it's either a wedding or a funeral now, right? And everybody's loud. You can't hear anybody. It's crowded. It's a wedding or a funeral. You're trying to say hello to everybody. It was nice to just sit in the backyard and talk about what's going on. What are you doing? How's it going? Blah, blah, blah. And I thought it was just a great time. And his wife, Donna, a sweetheart. And we just hung out. Now, Saturday night. Now, what are the odds of this? My buddy, Pat Volkamer, lives in L.A. His family lives out in Long Island. He only comes back like once a year, if that. And the one weekend he's coming back to Long Island is the weekend I'm shooting a film, okay? Literally like Colonia to Avenel. I mean, like 5 minutes away. So him and his wife were hanging out Saturday night. After we got done shooting, I hung out at his buddy Joe's house. And we just hung out, had some drinks in the back. It was like
did he stay up till 3 a.m. and then post about the Cowboys?
No. Of course he got loud.
Of course.
And here's how. And the reason why Pat's good, I can't wait.
He's a machine.
I can't wait for Pat to hear this podcast. He's gonna get mad at me. We started his buddy Joe. He plays softball. We started talking about getting older and playing against these young kids and playing third base. And these guys are hitting. Some of the leagues play with those hard balls, And I'm like, dude, you can get killed. Like,
missiles.
Missiles, right? So Pat, who hasn't played softball in 50, classic Pat, he's like, no. Here's what you got to do. You got to dig in, pull up your shorts. You got to stay focused. I go, Pat. First of all, you're 52 years old. When's the last time you played like softball?
When's when you got focused? When's the last time you got focused, Pat?
And so me and this guy Joe were ripping on him. He's getting loud. Like, what do you mean? I was a good athlete. I was like, no. All we're saying is you're old now. I'm old, and neither one of us can play third base anymore because the ball is like. I was like, Pat, tell you what, why don't you go to a golf range and in front of a guy hitting golf balls, go about 30 feet away and say, come on, hit one at me. I'm going to stay focused to watch this golf ball go ripping by me. The last time I played third base, the ball went past my ear, and I felt the hairs, all right, in my ear. And the ball was by me, and I realized it was hit. You know what I mean? So I said to myself, 3 inches the other way, and the Jimmy Palumbo Show is coming to you live from Rawway Hospital here at Shea. And so we had a lot of. Then he was telling me he likes to hit. He likes to shoot the gaps. I'm like, you haven't played softball in 20 years. What are you talking about? So we had a lot of laughs.
He must have loved yesterday, Ezekiel Elliott signing with the Patriots, and I'm sure he was all fired up about that shit.
Yeah, he'll say he's going to be the best running back.
We're going to miss him now. Yeah, okay.
But Pat, listen, Pat is out of his mind, but he's great. I love him. We had a lot of laughs. We didn't even mention the Mets, God forbid. But it was a good time. So that was my weekend. It was, you know what? Felt good to be in front of the camera. This was a low budget thing. I barely covered tolls. But it was good to be in front of camera with people and directors and actors.
Now, this has nothing to do with the strike or anything like that. You can do certain things.
It wasn't an interim. It's just under a low budget thing because it has nothing to do with Netflix, Paramount, Disney. They're trying to sell it to them, but you could shoot stuff. And I called up Screen Actors Guild, even though they were nice to me. I said, I got to call up. They said, go ahead, call. And I called up and I said, hey, Hotel 112. And they said, it's on our list. You can go do it. And then, cool. So I probably lost money on the gig, but no, it was fun to get out. They put me up in a hotel. It was just good to work and have fun and play again. You know what'll happen? This show will get picked up by Netflix, and Jimmy Palumbo will not be attached to the show.
All of a sudden, the dad is recast by somebody else.
I'll be watching an aging Ben Affleck play my part, but it was cool to do that. Which brings us to Mike Caprio being a jerk off here. Joe Cinecor checking in on the chat page as well. I welcome all the chats. I love it. Say whatever you want. Cornholelevel.com just re-upped with the Jimmy Palumbo Show for another 3 months. Getting involved here. Mike Caprio, my second baseman. Go to cornholelevel.com. Why do you go to cornholelevel.com? Dave, you're a guy that likes to have a straightened cornhole, don't you? And so what these things do, and I thought I had it here.
These are as good as the Manscaped reads, by the way, from former Chop Sports Daily shows.
This is part as I reach awkwardly out of the camera. Cornholelevel.com. Now get a load at this cornhole. This is a nice cornhole, isn't it? You see that? You know what? I think I should do the show like this from here on in. And Jimmy Palumbo's nose is inside the cornhole here.
Oh, my God. If anybody's listening to this on just audio, that's even better because nobody knows what you're doing. And you're like, Jimmy's got his face in a cornhole.
It's not the first time. Back in 89.
Right after Leggett's.
Coming out of Leggett's, my face ended up inside of a cornhole. And I said, hang on here. And it wasn't level, and I was furious.
Oh, man.
And I said, let me hang something on your cornhole. Anyway, this thing will
totally
Fuck are you
level.
Into? Here we go. Next thing you know, the Jimmy Palumbo Show exclusively on Pornhub.com. But this is what it is. My LinkedIn fans are going crazy.
The crowd from the LinkedIn audience. Those are the cheap seats, by the way, in LinkedIn.
Kidding me? Jimmy Palumbo Show. LinkedIn's batting like 340 right now. This is it. You hook it on here, cornhole right there, and it levels it to and fro and back. So it's the actual design because you're the kind of guy, Dave, that doesn't want someone to have a crooked cornhole on your watch.
No, I kind of like my cornhole straight, man.
Yeah, that's what it is. I'm with you. That's how it works. So go to cornholelevel.com. Of course, you get a 20% off your entire order, because you got to buy half a dozen of these. It's $19.95. They have things like they got. Listen, even Rutgers is well. Listen,
yeah,
Rutgers. I could do so many jokes. Rutgers has been so shitty. I have been inside Rutgers cornhole, and it does ding bubble. You got to.
They when they sell you season tickets, they jam it up your cornhole.
That's it.
There you go.
When you leave the stadium at the halftime, down 38-3, all of a sudden you have a straightened cornhole. So go to cornholelevel.com. Perfect stocking stuffer here at Shea. Put it on your board. If you're a big cornhole fan, that's it. So I have the ability to take an ad that and make it an 8-minute long bit. But that's it. Cornholelevel.com.
At least I know what I'm posting on social media this week.
That's
easy. That's easy. Layup.
Start you on the tipping. Yes, and it counts.
Flushes at home.
I had another booking yesterday.
Dude,
I did one of the fire. Palumbo for 3. He's got it now. The combined income from the 2 bookings, I can't pay my cable bill. But
Well, wait. What was bigger? The pay from this past weekend's gigs or the one-time Chop paid you out for the shirts?
That's it. Because 11,000 shirts were sold, and I got a check for $300. And one shirt was sold 3 months ago. Let's discuss that for a second. So,
damn, I put myself in a corner there.
Yeah, you listen. So I didn't push the shirts, but I still think a lot of people bought the 706 and Jimmy Palumbo shows, especially people had a last name named Palumbo. They got it. And months and months go by and you gave me one check. And then a long time went by, no shirt sales. I think there were no shirt sales. And then my buddy
Chris,
goes, hey,
you have to talk to Chris. He is also a part owner of Chop Sports Media. He had said something along the lines of, I have to do his fucking show every week, so he owes us money.
Okay. And then when you add up downloads, I am still a major part of Chop Sports, even though I don't know what you guys are a different company now. But the bottom line is, someone bought a shirt, and I was supposed to get $5 a shirt. And my buddy goes, hey, did you get paid on the shirt? He should have.
Who asked you, first of all? Somebody asked you?
Yeah, go back get paid on it.
So tell him I'm going to put the $5 towards 1 month of Patreon, and that's it. I'm going to cancel right after that.
I said, what happened to my shirts? And Chris was like, oh, I thought I saw one go through.
Who's running the books over here? I have no idea.
So that's how. But getting back to my booking, I did a voiceover for one of those podcasts, like the Serial podcast, where there's acting, like it's like a story. You know what I mean? One of those things. No. It's on Audible. I played
no
3.
What that means.
No, it's like a serial. It's like a drama.
Okay.
It's like
but it's a podcast only?
Yeah, scripted. Yeah. And it supposedly did well. It was called The Coldest Case. So this is the second season.
Oh, it's like a murder mystery type deal.
Correct.
Okay. I know what those are.
And I played 3 characters. It was great just to get in the studio again, Sound Lounge over there on 5th Ave. I've been there many times over the years, but it's been 5 years since I've been. You audition for everything at home, and he wanted to have me there, but I realized we were there. It was good to be live in the studio. And then I realized, okay, this is one of those SAG after contracts that they went out of their way to make sure that they had a contract on it. So I got paid $155, for 45 minutes of my time. Now,
that's not bad.
Cost me $44 to park.
Well, that's another deal.
Cost me about probably $12 in gas. Okay. 3 hours between the round trip going back and forth. So at the end of the day, Jimmy Palumbo clearing, plus Uncle Sam paying my agent 10%. Basically, I made $39 for 3 hours worth of work, which that's a spicy about about $13 an hour there at Shea. But I had a blast, and I think they'll use me again. And I just keep on racking up those $155 gigs. And next thing you know,
I would love a couple of those $155 gigs.
Yeah, sure you would. You got to drive into the city. I realized on the way out, I'm like,
I got a studio behind me.
I know, good, but he said to me, he's like, yeah, wasn't it good to be in the studio? And I was like, yeah. Driving home, I'm like, next time I book one of those, I'm like, you know what? I had a good time in the studio, but I'm going to do it from downtown Mawa and save myself $60. But it was great. The guys were great. I had to play a guy. I can't give anything away. I play a real badass guy. So my voice was really down and dirty like this. It was pretty cool. So that was fun. The strike is still going on. The Writers Guild is making some progress here, I'm told. And of course, SAG just waits. SAG just waits till everybody else settles. Then they're like, oh, what kind of deal did you guys get? Oh, wait, what kind of deal? All right, we'll do like a middle deal. That's how they do it. But so hopefully that'll end soon. I also played pickleball, back to pickleball, always go to pickleball. And again, why do people, I was dressed inappropriately. I had like a dirty shirt on, sweatpants. It was 4,000 degrees when I played. And all of a sudden, the first 3 matches, I dominate. But guess what happens? I'm sweating like a pig. Like my gut sweats.
What are you wearing sweatpants in the summer for?
Because I wasn't expected to go. I thought I was running around doing stuff. I wasn't expected to go. I was at my apartment, which I have it like the air
It's
conditioning.
like it's a pro wrestling mentality. Pro wrestlers, no matter what show you go to, no matter what your role, you always bring your gear. So going forward in your trunk, you bring a pair of shorts.
But there's no place to change. I'm my bare ass
right out there in the open, Jimmy. It's like, and then you're gonna say cornhole level. It's right here.
Cornhole. Maybe I'll shove a cornhole on my ass and walk up to the courts.
Boy.
The thing is, I am dominant the first 3 matches, but then all of a sudden, I clearly run out of gas. I am the classic modern day pitcher. Once you get past the third time in the lineup, get me out of the game. Pay me $35 million a year. I'm going to give you 6 innings. I'll scatter 7 hits. And then the batting average against me with 2 outs in the 6th inning is like 480.
It's like Severino's type numbers.
I just completely ran out of gas. And then I realized I used to do on the show years ago, my weight. I weighed in. And I stopped doing it because I was hovering around 199, 198, and I wasn't really doing anything. Okay. We now have a new segment. I have to go back to that. Dude, what? I'm 213.
Oh, you're a fat bastard.
I'm You kidding me? And I play a decent amount. I guess I'm eating like shit, probably having too many
Jimmy, I only weigh, as of right now, I only weigh like 50 more pounds than you. Me. 50 more pounds.
Okay, but still.
It's not a lot.
I know, like, if you walk out with 50 pounds of groceries, you're like, hey, shit, I got a lot of groceries here. Yes, but you're big. You're bigger than me. You're wider than me. Of 213, that is embarrassing.
That's not healthy.
It's not healthy. I look like Ernie Shavers now. I just can't. And some of my T-shirts don't fit well, so when I go up for an overhead, the shirt comes over my belly. And
you're one of those guys.
Listen, nobody wants to see that at shit.
Not a shot. I mean, if anything, it's a deterrent.
Oh, it's a deterrent. Meanwhile, although I do dominate. Oh shit, my sister's here now. Now she I didn't think she was listening.
Caprio just said I quit.
Caprio, I got to tell you, listen, cornholelevel.com. Do you have anything for guts? Like I could put a cornhole thing.
Just have it dangling off your belly button.
I'm 213. Yeah, oh my God. I you know what? Like if
it's
I was
not even bulking season yet. Bulking season comes into football season where you can wear hoodies and shit.
Exactly right.
Cover it up.
This weather's not good for me. I'm ruddy. I sweat. By the way, my air conditioning, it's 61 degrees in my condo right now. Okay.
Jesus
I stepped
Christ.
outside. No reason for it. My sister's just killing me on this. She's
had the food shop. I hope she picked you up some healthy stuff.
Oh my God. It's awful.
Ship it on over to Mawa.
Like, if I was a professional boxer, what weight would I? Is that super middleweight?
Super heavyweight.
Heavyweight. I'd be a super. So like I have to fight Tyson. That's how heavy I am now.
You're heavier than Tyson.
That's think about that. Jimmy Palumbo steps in the ring. He's been struggling. Tyson comes out and dodges the uppercut.
Looks like Jimmy Palumbo struggling to get into the ring.
Yes.
You can't even bend over, go through the ropes.
Like how heavy was Butterbean? I'm up there with this is
Butterbean
nuts.
Butterbean was a butter. He was a butter. He was a Butterbean.
He's a Butterbean. All I eat is butter.
Butterbean was 304 pounds.
I have beans and put
so
butter
you're close.
On. Then I thought, well, I'm going to run this 5K, right? But every time I go for a walk,
fucking forget.
Listen, every time I go for a walk, my heel hurts. I don't understand this. I got to get a doctor. And if anybody's a fan, why I can play pickleball for 3 hours. Okay, I look like Burgess Meredith at the end, but if I walk a mile, my heel is I become incapacitated. So something's wrong. I don't know how. I got to get this fixed. I can't do a 5K. I can play pickleball the entire time people are running a 5K, and I can't run a 5K. And I will someday run a 5K and finish under 31 minutes because I have to do it, and it gives us something to talk about. So I am overweight. I am ruddy. I'm concerned about my cornhole. Just I gotta figure that. I'm gonna end up dropping dead. You know what? Maybe I'll die during the podcast. That'd be funny. Then you get that.
Talk about ratings.
That'll go. Oh, wait a minute. If I drop dead during this podcast, you will have a field day posting for me on social media, and then you know what you'll do? I'll be dead. And you'll send me the Venmo charge. Jimmy, $75. So I'll be at Goslin Funeral Home.
I'm very, very reasonable with my pricing. Don't get me started.
As they finalize my estate,
am I in the will, at least?
My brother's going to be like, hey, Jimmy, what's with this Venmo charging? I'm like, I'll have to write a note like, oh, in case I die, Dave Sturcio may charge me Venmo money because he's posting my death live on the air.
And it's got the most likes. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, the best thing. Chop Sportios from the Jimmy Palumbo.
He's always wanted to go viral, and now he is.
And a dead man with his hat on. Anyway, so yeah, I have to lose weight, which brings us to speaking of losing weight, OxyMagicUSA.com, the ultimate in carpet cleaning. Now, they don't drag the hoses. You got to go to Oxy Magic USA. That's OXY. Why? Because they're simply the best here, Shay. The drying time is quick. They have green seal and EPA safer choices. They'll come in. You call them up. Talk to my boy Tommy and Natalie on the website. They're offering 0% financing for new location owners, OxyMagicUSA.com. But more importantly, my co-host and Cowboy fan, Dave Sturcio, used Oxy Magic, and how did it go?
It was fantastic, in and out. I thought for sure, I documented some of these stains in the rug. And I'm like, there's no way. That one's an old one out of Miles. That one's a Stella crayon that's been sunk in there for a while. No shot in hell. But when I got home yesterday, they were gone about an hour and a half, and everything was relatively dry already, and the stains were gone. It's actually kind of wild. I might have to call them like once every 6 months, but whatever. I got the young kids or whatever.
Once the kids get a little older, the stains.
The house. I'll tell you what. The best part about this, the house smelled amazing. Like it smelled like just a clean, clean.
It
house.
Doesn't have that great. Didn't have when they did mine. It didn't have that. I don't know. I don't know how to describe the shitty smell, but. So that's it. We have now a testimonial here.
Definitely call him up. I called up your boy. He pawned me off to the guy that's in my location. So they're everywhere. So you just have to.
The 80 locations, OxyMagicUSA.com.
Super cheap too, by the way.
And the price was good, which is cool. And they get in and out and they clean your rug. So, people that got kids or blah, 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 make it happen. So, I was mentioning pickleball before I started to talk about how fat I was. But one of the matches yesterday, while I was sweating profusely, I was down 8-3, and my partner was being a little bit of a dick. Like, Jimmy, come on. I was like, wait a minute. Did you just poke the bear? Did you just say I'm the reason why we're losing 8-3?
Pick up the slack,
and Palumbo got involved. Final score, Jimmy Palumbo, 11-9, as he rattled off 8 straight points and beat the shit out of the guy. Anyway. So I'm still a pain in the ass on the pickle court. But that brings us to, of course, here at Shea from the Omni in Atlanta. Let's discuss preseason football. Now, I know you're a big
greatest
football
sport
fan.
in the world.
Okay. The sport's great. I love the NFL. I think that I figured out what's wrong with our nation. I should run for president. I really should. I should be at the debate this week. If you watch the second half of a preseason game, there's issues there. You're either I see Dave raising his hand here. Preseason football,
what do you want me to do?
It's horrific. You don't even know the play. You know what? I don't even think the coaches are there.
I do know the players.
You don't know.
Yes, I do. If you cover one team like I do, you know everything about the team.
The backups, nobody kick guys. There's all rookies. And then the last game of the season, when they got the roster set up, then nobody plays either. And that's why
guys are playing for that last position.
So. If you're a gambler, do not start betting on the NFL till like week 5 to who's good or not. Because those first games, people are like, I haven't been hit yet, man. I don't know what it's like to play in a row. It's awful. No one's watching. The ratings are shitty.
I think it's good for the rookies. And the reason why I say that, like veterans, they're not going to play. Some veterans play. Like Mahomes was in there. He threw 2 passes and called it a day. But like my guy, Dak Prescott, didn't play. I'm going to talk about that later on a different time, different podcast. But I think for the rookies, though, to get like that first live game speed, I don't care who you're going against. You're in the NFL. The crowd's bigger. It's a little bit more intense. I think you just need some live game reps, and some guys fold,
and it shouldn't be televised, and we shouldn't have to see that.
Well, sometimes they're not. Sometimes there's joint practices, which is same
the
shit.
Giants doing with the Lions, and I'm reading about how Daniel Jones sucks, and I prefer that rather than watch him suck because I already know, what's going to happen with him. No, I'm rooting for him. I don't know. Bottom line is preseason football and they make the fans pay as part of the season tickets. It's bullshit.
There was 81,000 Cowboys fans at Dallas on Saturday for 5 o'clock.
And they watched a shitty product, and no one left there going, "Whoo, wow!" You know what those people are? Those are the ones who can't go to the games because they can't afford it, and they were handed the tickets. That's
Jimmy
what it
is
is.
calling out the poverty here. Oh my goodness, that awful. Is just mean. Mean.
My friend Robin, 100% should not be. It's not poverty. The bottom line is, it's the season ticket holders don't go.
The Snoopy Bowl's coming up in a week. Aren't you going to go to that? It's the Giants and the Jets.
Oh my God, it's awful in every way. Which, listen, I actually watched the last 2 Yankee games.
Why? You could have chose anything in your life.
You know, I think my remote is just stuck on the Yes channel. I can't even I tried to go to ESPN and the button was stuck to 70s. My Optimum. The collapse on Sunday was atrocious.
Did you see that $1 million? Did you see that $1 million parlay that didn't hit because of that?
No.
There was like a bet made on DraftKings that the Yankees would win and Cole would pitch, I think 8 strikeouts or something like that, and he did his job.
Oh, and
then they blew it, and I was like, oh my God, I would have been. Brutal. I couldn't even tell you how sick I was.
And that guy Holmes stinks. He's always stunk. But even the way they lost, though, there were ground balls hitting off his face. He's throwing the ball over the place.
Garbage.
It looked like a Corona softball game. It was atrocious. And then I love going to the box scores, and I see, Stanton 205, Volpe 214, Higgy 232, Cabrera 209, LeMahieu, the really contact great hitter 241. Then I go to the Braves. I look at the Braves box score, 388, 320. They're all hitting.
Braves might set records this year, man.
Their lowest batting average is 241. That's our highest. It's just awful. And another thing, Yankees get, what's kind of cool? Yankees get picked off twice a game now for the last 20 games. Like I swear to God, if I was booing, I mean, guys, listen, if you get on, just hold the bag like you're playing in a softball game.
Caught leaning.
Just hold the you should even if you lean with your foot on the bag. I mean,
I don't know what's the solve, man. It's like I know all the Yankee fans are beating on the desk to fire Boone, fire Cashman, but at the end of the day, the Steinbrenners are ungodly loyal to these guys, and it's no matter how bad they're going to do, they have a chance to be under 500, Jimmy. Under 500. The New York Yankees in September.
If I was the Steinbrenners, I'd do the same thing. You don't want new changes because then you got to go to more meetings. You want the same people to run. All you do is sit back and collect a check. Oh, yeah. Imagine that. He's sitting in Florida. Oh, we lost another 5 games. Oh, what's that, honey? You got the mail? What's that? Oh, another one of those checks came in from the S Network. So, but if they hire new, then they got to fly up to New York. They got to do a press conference. They got to get, the manager may call up and say, "Hey, Hal, what's the password for the Wi-Fi over here?" He doesn't want to get involved with that anymore. It's over. Another thing is, how about plays at the plate? I don't even know if it was Higgy catching or the other guy. Balls are bouncing nobody fields the ball clean. It's just sloppy, messy. First to third, and there the throw gets away, and then another run scored. He'll go to second. No one hits it's like a shitty softball game in Woodbridge Township on a Wednesday night. I was part of many of those.
Same.
Anyway, annoys the shit out of me. So if you're that annoyed, go to chasingmiracles.com. Now I got new copy here from my chasingmiracles.com. Nice. Chasingmiracles.com. They have stem cell patches that create an immediate effect for your body to repair anything that's wrong with it. That's right. You know what it is? It's shit your body needs. That's what these patches do. Gives you stamina, energy, muscle strengthening, pain elimination, detox, weight loss, appetite suppressing. Although I just started really doing these every day. And so far that's one area I'm not so sure on as I move up to 213. Improves skin, hair, nail growth, reduces anxiety, age reversal, collagen with injections, all that. No needles, non-invasive, nothing's going into your body. It's healthy. There's tons of research on this. Tons of Olympic athletes have done it. No injections, none of that stuff. You got to check this stuff out. I mean, Serena Williams, Michael Phelps, WWE gets involved with this. Also for older people that have bad knees, and moms and the kids. It's even good, safe for kids, the whole 9 yards. So go to chasingmiracles.com here from the Omni and go check it out. Go talk to Tommy and Donna. You'll love them. They also got the, what I call them the sandbags, the coral calcium bags that get in your water that give you trace minerals. So it's all this healthy stuff. Now, I feel bad. I'm the spokesman for chasingmiracles.com, and I'm not a healthy person, so I have to bear down.
Maybe
start wearing these.
Get involved.
I have to wear these. I have to start wearing these. I got to get involved. Fat Mamu, my sister's giving me shit.
I just love how all of your reads thus far this show have involved kids at some point. Like Janine, like frames for the kids. Right? And then you got the Oxy Magic is like, it's safe for the kids. And then it's like Chasing Miracles is good for the kids. Like, every fucking kid.
Everything's good for the kids. That's why we do it here. Speaking of television, Winning Time. Have you been watching that? The new series, the Laker thing, the Lakers show.
They came out another. They dropped another season.
Yeah, didn't drop it. It's every week.
No,
season 2 is really, really good. You got to catch up.
I didn't even finish season 1, but I did like it. Like from what I watched, I just got caught up with something else.
The Andy Hirsch, my boy, plays David Stern, Rutgers grad who ran the NBA. But John C. Reilly as Jerry Buss is he's great. He dominates the floor. And the guy, the actor who plays Jerry West is so great because, man, I heard Jerry West's family is suing them. That's why all over the episode, this is based on things like it's not 100% accurate. Like Jerry West.
Is that what it is? Defamation? Like,
I think Jerry West is like, I'm Jerry West. I'm one of the best players of all time, and you're making me look like an asshole. Now, I talked to a couple of people in production over there, and they said, Jimmy, I don't know what he's complaining about. He took in all the books that he wrote, he talks about how he was a jerk and crazy fuck. So anyway, it's a great show, which brings us to also Hard Knocks. Now, I know you've beaten this to death. First of all, Aaron Rodgers, clearly, first of all, if he wants to join SAG and become an actor, Aaron Rodgers, I don't even care about football, okay? Talk about a guy who just say, we're doing Hard Knocks? Okay. I'm not only going to embrace it, I'm going to become a TV star.
I'm going to dial it up.
He dominates it. And then I thought the weirdest thing, though, is how for all you Jet fans out there, I would be concerned. Did you see the coaches? Like Aaron Rodgers throws it down and that, and they're like, "Oh, wow!"
They ain't never seen anything like this before.
Like, what?
They haven't seen anything since Joe Willie.
What happened to the cigar chomping coach? Like, all right, Aaron, that's enough of that shit. Get over here, throw some. Like, they're like, oh my god. Like, the coaching staff is supposed to remain cool. It's Vinny from Queens in the upper deck from Shea with the dirt infield. He's the guy who's supposed to be like, come on, Rodgers, you son of a bitch. These coaches, they're like googly-eyed over the Aaron Rodgers.
He's the second coming of Christ. I mean,
oh my God.
How great is it that they brought Liv Schreiber on the show? Like, he's the voice, and that's
which is awesome.
Which, by the way, I had a long argument with Chris about this. He told me that once upon a time, and I was like, that's not him. He's like, yeah, it is. I'm like, no, it's not. Like, I've seen him in Ray Donovan. I've seen him in Scream.
He changed
I've
his
seen
voice
all
a
these
little
things.
bit.
Boy, oh boy, is he like? I've been following that voice forever. Like, every year.
How cool. And Rodgers is. How about Rodgers telling other people? This is what I love about
hello.
He's like, look, it's the guy, voice of God. Like, that's how I would like. It would be if Bob Shepard showed up at an event I was at. I'd be like, that's Bob Shepard, the guy in Yankee Stadium. Like, he's bigger than anyone here. Like, he was like, he's bigger.
Yeah.
It was great, but I did the coaching. All I want, actually want the Jets to do good because I live in New York. I get the paper every day. The Jet fans, but all I want is opening day. I want the Jets to lose like 28-6. I want Aaron Rodgers to throw 3 picks. And then after the game, I just want to have a couple of beers. I want to sit in a dark room and listen to WFAN from like 4:30 to midnight. Because the Jet fans, who are way funnier than anybody on the air, they're just going to be like, I knew it. He's a bum. They're going to go all over. And then I think
from everybody I've talked to, they're very, very optimistic and very excited. Yesterday they signed Dalvin Cook. Like, they have themselves.
Yeah, they're going for it. Listen,
nice roster.
Listen, the Jets haven't had a quarterback in years. And last year the Jets were good. I don't recall. I'm about to say something stupid. You're probably more knowledgeable about this. I think the Jets last year, you can make the argument, the last 20 years anyway, they were they were the team that really needed one position.
Oh, yeah.
And that one position quarterback played horrific and cost them games. Like
last year.
You always say, what?
Last year's Jets teams, they were a quarterback away from being great. I
think the Jets could have went like 14-3 if they got if they had a journeyman, even like I don't know, Trent Dilfer back there.
Well, they did try. They did try Delaware's very own Joe Flacco, but that didn't work out well.
First of all, Joe Flacco, I think Joe Flacco weighs 213 pounds. But anyway, that show Hard Knocks with Aaron Rodgers is just
it's on tonight.
It's on tonight. I can't wait. It's really fun to watch. But I want to talk about something a little more on the serious side for the kids. Now, I want to talk a little bit about Beer League.
Yeah.
And Dave's been involved with social media with us with that. Now, we do have $2,000 raised at Indiegogo. That's my
Try that again. Let's run that back. This guy, he is a mess. He is a mess, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm the worst today.
He's trying to get his ear plugged, but he can't get down because of 213 pounds of joy.
My gut, I can't believe. I'm like, what am I? I know Frank the Tank came out with a new diet. I took it too seriously.
The first day I met Jimmy, he walked in. I'm like, this guy batted 706. There's no fucking way.
But when I first met you, I was like Mickey Rivers. I had speed. Now I'm just, oh my God. Anyway.
It looks like you ate Mickey Rivers now.
So I want to talk about something serious. I do. Beer League, the series. People are asking me going to do more. We're going to shoot some more. You got to go to Indiegogo.com. Look up Beer League, the series. We're raising some crowdfunding. Now, Dave and I haven't really pushed it on social media. I wanted the series to be out there a little bit. Every day, really, we get another subscriber. People are watching. We get views every day.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool. And we decided that we're going to shoot 3 more with a little bit of a nice budget. And we're going to get out of the bar. You're going to see me at home, and we're going to even there's going to be a scene at the field, which is pretty cool. So go to Indiegogo.com, look up Beer League, the series. And please donate. Send whatever you want. Those give you $5, $10. Doesn't matter. It all adds up. And you can be an extra on it if you want. You can. We have all that stuff. So, and listen, you donate money, you get to be in the series. That's right.
That right along is the worth the cost of donating. I mean, come on.
Well, one guy donated money. He was like, if you get me in the series, I'm all in. I'm like, all right. I was listening. If you donate more, you can be Johnny Trino. I'll stay home. I don't care.
We've recasted the main character.
As long as if you're under 213 and you donate a lot of money, you will play my character.
No, the best part is like if this guy donates money and you show up on the field and you're like, oh man, Artie made it, and it's not Artie. It's just something. Hey guys, and you're like, what the fuck?
I think I'm going to take over the Artie role. Here we go. That's it. It's so sad.
There you go.
Oh my. Anyway, go to Indiegogo.com. Check out Beer League, the series on YouTube. Instagram, was it official Beer League series on Instagram? Is that the title of it?
I believe so.
Google it. It's all there.
Yep.
And donate if you can. We're trying to raise some money to shoot some fun stuff. And I got inspired by shooting this film this weekend. I realized, you know what? I think I could do just as good with a few more dollars. And that's what we're going to do. So go check out Beer League, the series, Indiegogo.com. You're going to see some stuff on it as we go along. Don't forget, if you're going down to LBI or Cape May or wherever the hell you're going, go to Pine Tar Bar and Grill, 121 South Main Street, Forked River, 609-489-4286, the #1 sports bar in the nation. No, in the state, I think. PineTarBarGrill.com. Good food, TVs. They got every sporting event. You want to see women's soccer? That's the place to go. We talked about that last week, how the women got beat.
Yeah, then we're done with that.
We're done with that. I just want to make sure I covered it at least.
Yeah, no, you definitely did.
They got karaoke, beer bongs outside. They got it's a good Rutgers bar. It's a good Penn State bar. And they have actually Giants as well. Of course, my friend Tommy's a Steeler fan. And, of course, the Cowboys are there, too. So go check it out. Also, my friend Lisa Ruane is a certified therapist. 201-725-1251. Again, me and Dave know all about this stuff. Please go check that out. If you're not feeling right, you're starting to have, you're just getting a little depressed, a little down, anxiety, whatever the hell it is, call up Lisa, 201-725-1251. Maybe she can help you, or she can guide you in the right direction. Tell her Jimmy Palumbo sent you. There's no discount, but just tell her whoever has that problem, I love you, whatever it is. And she'll go in and take care of you. Now, the last thing I wanted to discuss, what the hell did I want to discuss? It slipped my mind already. See what happens. I just completely
fat and old.
I'm fat, old. I got Alzheimer's here at Shay. We were going to talk about something with the way it was with Beer League, but anyway, I'm hoping to. I'm going to really try to. I've been reaching out to Artie. I want to talk to him this week, and hopefully, I'll be able to do that. And we're going to try to see if we can get Artie involved in the Beer League thing as well. But that's always a tough call. He's got a manager. I shouldn't say it, right? He's got a manager that doesn't post on his social media. I don't care. I said it. I don't understand that. Post it. All I'm looking for a little love. But when I talk,
doesn't take much.
I'll get that stuff posted. But that's it. We came in under an hour here at Shane. Me with the Fatora, and we had some fun with cornhole. He's looking for people want me to go longer than an hour for bonus baseball at St. Joe Cinecor. See what happens. You know what? When you're on my Patreon,
I was just going to ask him if Cinecor is a Patreon member.
Yeah.
Joe. Then if you go on over to Patreon.com, there is nothing extra.
Actually, you know what's great? The only one who's not on my Patreon is Dave Moslowitz and Sam Grasso. So I believe they're two Cowboy fans, right? Okay. Oh, I know what I wanted to say. I forgot.
Grasso's not a Cowboys fan.
Your show, he's a Giant fan.
Yeah. No, he's a fucking Tampa Bay Bucks fan.
Well, that's not gonna last.
I don't know.
That's like temporary. That's like getting a cold. I feel lousy this week. Oh,
I got to root for Tampa this year.
Yeah, for a couple years I felt great. Now I feel like shit again. Shout out to your show as well. I listened to a couple episodes. Excellent stuff.
Thanks.
And the Dave Sturgio show. Check it out on podcast. I think I'm on episode 3. Good stuff there. And check out, listen, if you can find out witness protection program, anything about Chris Gucci, please let me know. We're looking for him. I've been dying to have him on.
He's doing well.
He's doing well.
I can report that he's doing well. I'm keeping him comfortable as the nurses are in and out.
Okay, all right. So is he in a podcast hospice? Is that
basically. I don't know. I sometimes come out and he's just looking into space and he's just I don't know what to tell you.
We have to get you both on the show maybe next week. It'd be fun.
I'm trying. Listen, I need to get him on our shows that we do together. That's pulling teeth as it is.
That's the hardest thing. I know, but Chris is doing some crazy stuff on the side, which is great. That's it. That's the show. Thank you once again. Next week we may have a guest next week. Actually, may have that Andrea Longo may come on the show next week.
Yeah, right.
She might.
Really?
She might. Oh,
I'm in.
Gotta get involved here. I gotta. You know what? I gotta have more wide receivers on as guests.
Yeah, enough of these. Enough of me being the fucking defensive tackle. Get a speed receiver in this building.
Yeah. Too many fullbacks, too many tight ends, long snappers. I just want to get someone who's going to play
Tony
in the league.
McGee's out here, man.
Tony McGee show here at Jay. All right, a big shout out to Dave Magadan for playing 16 years
and coaching for another 16.
And I just got a text from Dave Magadan. His cornhole is just fine. And that's it. All right, kids. Mike Caprio's quitting. I hope you sent me the check, Caprio. And
Caprio, let's talk, man. Shoot me a message.
I'll talk to you guys. I'll see you next week. Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it.
You got it.